All right, The Black Phone 2022 is directed by Scott Derrickson. The screenplay is also written by Scott Derrickson and Robert Cargill, and based on the short story The Black Phone by Joe Hill. And yeah, while watching the movie, I was like, this seems like it could have been based on a book, and it isn't until now that I realized that it was. But yeah, maybe I'll have to read that at some point. I don't read a whole lot, but maybe I'll get Audible or something like that to go listen to it. But yeah, the plot here: after being abducted by a child killer and locked in a soundproof basement, a 13-year-old boy starts receiving calls on a disconnected phone from the killer's previous victims. So this movie has supernatural elements, but it also has very realistic elements to it, like child abduction and stuff like that. And that's the main draw for me with this movie. What made me want to see it, but also kind of made me not want to see it. Um, it's just a really sensitive topic. I mean, I've never had somebody close to me be abducted, but just the idea of it terrifies me. So part of me was like, I mean, I'm definitely going to watch this movie, but part of me just doesn't want to because it just freaks me out. But yeah, Ethan Hawke is in this movie as the Grabber. He never gets an actual name, I don't think. He's just known as the Grabber, and he's the one kidnapping kids and killing them and all that fun stuff. Um, we also have Mason Thames as the main character, Finney, and I thought he was very good in the movie. This kid looks really familiar. Have I seen him in anything? I don't think I have. Let me see. Nope. He kind of looks like a younger, you know what? He kind of looks like a cross between that one kid from Honey Boy. I cannot remember his name for the life of me at the moment. Oh shoot, what's that kid's name? He's also in A Quiet Place. Can't think of his name, but he kind of looks like a mix between that and Zachary Gordon, I think his name is, from the original Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies. But he looks a lot like that one kid from A Quiet Place. For a bit there, I was like, is that kid? But I was like, no, it's not. Madeline McGraw in here as Gwen. That's the sister to Finney. I thought her character was really interesting in this movie. If you saw the trailer, you'll know that she kind of has these dreams, and so she can see certain things that happen. So she's kind of like a clairvoyant, I think, would be the definition of that. But yeah, Ethan Hawke as the Grabber. Definitely one of the most creepiest roles I've ever seen Ethan Hawke in. I really don't think I've seen him in a whole lot, to be completely honest. Obviously, I watched him in Moon Knight. What else have I seen this guy in? I really don't think I've seen him in much, to be honest. The Northman, I did see him in that. He was kind of creepy in that. What else? I don't know if there's anything else, to be honest. Yeah, I really need to watch his movies if that's not already obvious. I guess he was in Sinister. Did I watch that one? I think I may have watched that one. No, I'm thinking of Insidious. Looks like he's done a little bit of Robot Chicken. Yeah, I really haven't had a lot of experience with this actor, but he was really creepy in this movie. Um, probably probably the main draw for a lot of people going into this movie is Ethan Hawke being, a child abductor, and he plays it very well. That's for sure. And I gotta tell you, this movie, this is definitely a horror movie. It's not necessarily the most like jump scary movie I've ever seen. There were maybe like 2 jump scares in the movie. Um, all right, there were probably more than that, but for me, jump scares are just like things popping up out of nowhere. There were only a couple moments like that in here. For this movie, it's more about the suspense than the horror of it, which is funny because it has supernatural elements, but the supernatural elements actually played to the main character's favor. Rather than having the supernatural presence be a danger to the main character, to the protagonist, it's actually an asset to him. So I thought that was a really cool spin on that. It's a pretty straightforward movie, I won't lie to you, but something about it just like had me on the edge of my seat. I was rooting for the characters. mainly Finney because he's the main character, and that's kind of the only one aside from Gwen that you really get attached to. I got attached to both of them for sure, but Finney was obviously the one in more danger. Um, so yeah, I felt the sense of danger with this kid. I was, trying to think of different ways he could possibly get out. It was almost like an escape room in a way. I think this this movie would make a really cool escape room. Um, trying to get out of the basement and stuff. And they definitely have a lot of interesting ideas that don't necessarily pan out, but a lot of interesting ones for sure. Got some Shawshank in there with the, digging a hole in the wall. But yeah, lots of interesting ideas on how to try to get out. And I'm trying to like dodge spoilers here because man, that ending of the movie was fantastic. I loved the ending of the movie. I was just like, yes, 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 yes. So hopefully that my reaction to that doesn't spoil it for you guys, because I really do highly recommend this movie. I'm actually gonna give it a really good rating right now because yeah, I mean maybe it's just compared to Elvis. I watched both of these movies in the same day, and I really didn't like Elvis, so maybe I just was refreshed to actually watch a pretty good movie. But I really do think that this movie stood out to me. It's possible that this might end up on my top 10 favorites of this year. There's a lot of other movies coming out, so it might get swept under the rug a little bit, but I really do appreciate what this movie was trying to do. The actors were all pretty great in here, except for, maybe a couple child actors that weren't necessarily in the main role. But yeah, very little complaints about this movie for sure. Had me on the edge of my seat. Had really, characters, protagonists you could root for. Had a really great antagonist. Even though you don't learn a whole lot about the antagonist, you don't need to, because just, having the grabber here, Ethan Hawke, be just so fucking maniacal and creepy and just, you know, um, what's the other word I'm looking for here? Meticulous with the way he wants to do things. That's like all you need really with the killer. You don't need to develop too much of a story, like too much of a backstory to really make the character work. And they give small hints, but they don't outright say it. This movie, and I appreciate when movies do this, when a movie is straightforward enough to where you can kind of fill in some blanks and it doesn't feel like it needs to explain everything. There's movies out there that really need to explain everything, or not everything, but really need to explain things, like Christopher Nolan films. There's a lot of his movies that I just don't like. Like Interstellar, I think it's great visually, but he just doesn't explain things. And he has these really bold ideas that nobody can really wrap their heads around. And with Inception, it kind of works for that movie, but for Tenet and Interstellar, it kind of does it a disservice. And with a movie like this, it's not as crazy as Interstellar. It doesn't have these insane, just mind warping plots. But for a simple movie, it knew what it was, and it didn't feel like it needed to explain any further about why this guy is the way he is, because he can kind of just put two and two together. We know these kinds of people. We know the kind of fucked up shit that they can have in their head, past trauma, whatever it might be. So, yeah, I like it when a movie doesn't feel like they need to explain every little thing. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty great movie, so the rating I will give for it is 8.5 out of 10. I was close to giving it a 9, but due to the kind of simplicity of the movie, I don't think it deserved any more than that. Not to be harsh or anything, but 8.5 is still a really great score. So I highly recommend that you guys check out this film. It was surprisingly good. I wasn't expecting much from it, and what I got, I was really impressed with and really happy with. And I don't know if I'm going to end up watching it in the theater again, but when it comes out on digital or wherever it might be, I will definitely have to check that out again, and also recommend it to other people, because yeah, I mean, it's one of the best horror movies I've seen in the last, I don't know, 2-3 years, to be honest. I mean, I don't get scared from horror movies too often, but this one, it really had me like, my heart was beating really fast and I was getting kind of shaky. I was like really nervous watching this movie, and that's something that scary movies don't do very often for me. So, gotta give it props for that. But yeah, have you seen The Black Phone? What did you think? Comment down below. Please, no spoilers. Also, leave a like on the video and subscribe. I would very much appreciate it. And I will see you guys in the next one. What should my next video be? I'm not sure. Um, it'll probably be next week, most likely. Does Thor come out next week? I don't know for sure, but maybe it will be. But as for right now, that's all I got for you. So I will see you guys in the next video.